Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I'm gonna help you make a decision. Well, if you were looking to make this decision, I'm gonna help you decide whether the X-S10, the brand new, just announced Fujifilm X-S10, or the X-T4 is the right camera for you. Let's get this started. Welcome back, everyone, and as always, if you are interested in the content that we're producing on this channel, whether it's Fuji-related gear, film photography, travel images, and travel content, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with all the exciting content we have planned for the rest of the year. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you know when a new video comes out. Enough of that shameless plug. Let's talk about this. Maybe you're deciding between which camera to get, which is the right one for you, because you were considering the X-T4, and it is a bit of a premium product, and now this X-S10 has entered the argument, has joined the chat, and you're wondering, can this do enough for me? Well, I'm gonna hopefully dispel some of the concerns and guide you, hopefully, in the right direction. So let's talk about this. Why would you choose the Fujifilm X-T4? Well, if you're going with this product, you're really choosing the flagship camera in the X-mount system, something that's gonna give you amazing photography and amazing videography. That's the camera I'm using to record right over here. Not this one. This one we're using the X-T3, but this is the X-T4. And listen, I've used this for many photo and video projects and it has not failed me. And the design of this camera is really geared toward the professional environment. It expects you to know how to use that exposure triangle to get the shot that you're looking for. Now, there's a lot of smarts built in and there's auto modes available to you, but again, the design language gears toward that enthusiast professional user. There are several standout features though that will guide you or even push you to get an X-T4. The first would be weather sealing. For you that is traveling around in dynamic environments, hot, humid, wet, cold, you might want something that has weather sealing just because of where you capture. And if that's the case, well, this is kind of your only option between the two. You can't really use the X-S10 and expect that level of reliability. The next thing that might guide you to this camera is dual card slots. If you find yourself in an environment where you need dual card slots, whether it's to record, backup files at the same time, you're in a lot of event type situations, not the studio environment, or if you're capturing a lot of video and you want to have redundancy or extra recording options. And well, if you need UHS-2 speeds, if you find yourself shooting wildlife, sports, or events, and you need to be able to use, 30 frames per second continuous shooting, well, you're gonna want something that can handle that buffer and keep up with you. If that's the case, well, that's another reason you'd consider the X-T4. A third reason why you would lean to the X-T4 over an X-S10 is the amount of buttons and customizations. Because you have the D-pad along with some other function buttons, you can really tweak this experience to the type of creator that you are and how you capture, and ultimately make it conform to your production workflow. The X-S10 doesn't have as many buttons and they're predefined to a certain degree, so it might not lend itself as well to those of you that like to engineer and tinker around and create that custom experience. And a final but really important reason might be that video functionality. With the X-T4, you can do 10-bit recording internally, but you can also shoot 4K 60p internally as well. So for those of you that lean heavily to the video option and want to be able to not only record 10-bit, but also be able to record 400 megabit video files that have more depth, more detail that you can go in and customize in post, well, that's a strong case to consider the X-T4 over the X-S10. Now, enough about that X-T4. Let's talk about this X-S10 because you can't count this one out. The number one reason why you'd consider the X-S10 over the X-T4 is if you want something that is generally more user-friendly. It's more welcoming. It's not as intimidating. And if you're moving from a mobile device or maybe a point-and-shoot camera, this will help you to get up and running faster. And mind you, it's still using the same sensor and same processor. So your images won't look any less great. It's still gonna be phenomenal, but that experience is gonna be easier for you. And that is important for many users. Furthermore, the price point, because this is probably one of the most, important things that you want to consider when you're buying a new digital mirrorless camera. Sales are going down, and in the midst of this pandemic, the spending power has gone down as well for many people, and every dollar counts. So if you can get something that has the latest sensor, the latest processor, built-in image stabilization, still really good video options, even though it doesn't have all of them, well, that's a great reason to consider this camera. And you add to the fact that this comes in at about $1,000 US for the body alone, well, there it might seal a deal for many of you watching. So a lot of that coming together with the price point makes this a compelling case over the X-T4. Another reason to consider is just how small and lightweight this camera is. At a little under 500 grams, you have something that feels like it's just an extension of you. It doesn't feel like it's weighing you down. And you have this incredible grip that I mentioned might be the most comfortable grip that Fuji has ever introduced in a modern camera, that, when you're carrying around, it doesn't feel obtrusive in any way. And you pair this with one of their, Fujifilm lenses, it's a super lightweight portable solution that allows you to capture the moment. And in some ways, remove that layer of abstraction. You're not thinking about how heavy this thing is, because it's not really, and you can just focus on the moment. So another reason to consider the XS10 is because of its compact design and portability. And finally, the reason you want to get an XS10 over an X-T4 is that it allows you to get up and running faster and maybe even produce better content sooner for some people. Listen, for the budding creator or someone that wants to start their YouTube channel around photography, or someone that just wants to capture remarkable imagery and have the option to produce and document that story later on, the XS10 makes a really strong case. And add to the fact that because of its price point, you can get an XS10 and a premium Fuji lens for a price point that's cheaper than just getting the X-T4 body. That is a really compelling argument, because now you have something that you can go and get started and really produce fantastic imagery before you even hit the price point that an X-T4 with the lens would. And that allows you to just be able to be creating sooner and feel a little bit more liberated. So when you're looking at the XS10, I think that if you're a budding creator, someone that wants to start a YouTube channel, someone that wants to be able to capture your hobby or passion, such as food photography, cooking, or sports, whatever it may be, this is a camera that's geared toward that space and will appeal to that kind of creator more so than an enthusiast or professional. Now, is there an argument to get both? Maybe. Listen, if you're someone that has an X-T4, or that you want that to be your main A camera, whether it's for photography or video, there might be a case to get an XS10, maybe. But I find because of its design cues and the way they are differentiated, I shouldn't say design, the way that these two cameras are differentiated and how they're built and the way they look, I don't know if it's gonna appeal to someone that would wanna have both. For example, if you lean toward the X-T4, I don't think you'll appreciate the very minimal aesthetic of this camera without its ISO or shutter dials. And if you're someone that likes the XS10, well, the X-T3 and X-T4 even, they might feel a little bit too intimidating. You might end up graduating to those cameras in the future, but it's not something that you'd probably use both at the same time. So while there might be some argument to be made for getting both, personally, in my opinion, I don't think that is feasible between these two cameras. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. But I just don't see someone that would get an X-T4 and an XS10. And I don't see someone that's gonna get an XS10 and then later get an X-T4 and use both. I think that at some point they're probably looking to replace that XS10 because they've passed that ceiling. So in any case, let me know what you think, but that's where I landed with these two cameras. And there you have it. That's my quick little mini buyer's guide between the X-T4 and the XS10. more importantly, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Which one do you guys lean toward, and is there something else that you'd consider outside of these two? I'd love to continue the conversation there, and as always, if you're not subscribed already, please do consider hitting that subscribe button because it does make a difference, and I'm telling you, we have some fantastic content on the way. As always, my name's Gajan. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.